Hello there. So, welcome to episode 4, where we can quickly touch base in terms of AI platforms versus AI features, designing for intelligence and not add-ons, right? So, this is again another episode for modern systems and real impact. Like, if you think about most companies today don't have AI platforms, they have AI features. They have stitched on LMs, added a chatbot, maybe run a few vector searches depending on, let's say, Fierce database or any kind of vector or database, or even maybe you have like a embeddings populated in your quadrant, you know, database choice, and you built like a lightweight, streamlined application for it, right? So, but they don't have a unified, reliable, scalable system that can power AI across many use cases and teams and products, even for that matter. So, in this episode, I'll break down what makes an AI platform and why real AI infrastructure is about pipelines, governance, reusability, and control, and not just APIs that needs to be considered. Remember, the governance factor matters a lot from legal compliance point of view, right? And how can you scale with your better observability patterns and reusability also? So the problem with feature-driven AI, right? Like many companies add AI in silos. One team adds embeddings, another runs a notebook in production, let's say, or another wires up to any other AI API that you have to make sure the legal compliance aligns with it. Then it leads to obviously duplication of your vector stores, inconsistent data preparation, and there might not be any lineage to trace through, or there might not be any visibility into what's working or what's failing based on and primarily if the complexity of the components increases, the volume of the data is increasing, and there's no lineage to trace through which model process which data, right? It's very hard to justify the governance that you're incorporating in the application. And no model governance, not just the data, right? Of which LLM model or any other model that you have leveraged to process the data. So data observability or usage feedback loops, right? All of this results in a poor quality and the wasted infra spend if you've already used infrastructure to process in terms of a compute consideration, but at the same time, there is no historical tracing patterns involved for audit team or the legal team, or even to justify the success metrics of what has been retrieved out of the data, right? And how you're trying to leverage those embeddings. So, and it results in managing a poor regulatory aspects also. So, what makes a real AI platform? Like centralized data and feature engineering pipeline, right? In terms of a shared transformations, observability, and versioning, and having a model registry with lifecycle states, whether it's a train, validate, and then you deploy and retire. And then having a shared vector DB plus the retrieval APIs in the multi-tenant architecture, access controlled way. And having a unified monitoring, considering the usage, accuracy drift, and the performance cost aspects. The governance layers, which has permissions, audit trails, and explainability tagging. Orchestration, triggering trigger-based workflows with tools like Airflow, Dagster, or Orgo, right? Depends on choice you make based on the complexity that you would want to handle in the current design. So it's important to understand different layers of the platform architecture. Let me give you a quick glimpse over here, what I meant. So if you look at this, we have the data ingestion layer, right? We have feature store, we have model layer, life cycle, and we have serving and retrieval layer, monitoring and governance. So if you're dealing with a real AI platform, it's important for you to understand the segregation of this platform architecture, right? So in the data ingestion layer, the real time, depending on the choice you make, whether it's a Kafka or Pulsar, right? And then batch pipelines, whether you're managing with just Spark or both Spark and Flink, right? And then there's this metadata that you need to manage, the lineage tagging, as I just briefed. So, like I already mentioned in the front of my previous episode, VanDB is one of the tools that you can leverage for linear tagging, where model registry plus the data lineage can be handled in single tool. But I think VanDB actually lacks a little bit in the reporting, but probably they've enhanced it right now. Back then, we had to do custom reporting by leveraging their APIs. So then the feature store, shade transformations, right? Feature as code, snapshot versioning, and in the model lifecycle, there's this ML flow where you can use like maybe SageMaker for model registry or the VanDB training pipelines, right? What kind of automated evaluation you need to consider, and what kind of success cost metrics that you need to evaluate, both from the what model is being trained, right? And what data has been used and what is the result of the training. Serving and retrieving layer, your REST protocol or the gRPC protocol, depending on the API that you choose, what kind of vector database you are leveraging, Fierce, Quadrant. I remember using Quadrant for one of the project, and Pinecone. It's very Quadrant is like a fire, you can just build upon the along with a streamlined interface. If you It's like a React application that you can do a semantic analysis of embeddings. And again, these all these database, Pinecone and Weave also, they have a compute cost involved. So I would advise go through their documentation of reference, both from deployment, hosting, and cost aspect point of view, what works in compliance and the regulatory manner in based on your legal team and audit team. And the memory of feedback loop series, any of the key value storage database that you can leverage. So then it's a monitoring and governance, right? Accuracy tracking, user feedback point of view, explainability point of view, what kind of access control that you have incorporated, or the audit logs that you're managing, what kind of metadata that you are managing in the audit logs, and what kind of rollback system you have if something goes wrong with the deployment pipeline, right? Not just deployment pipeline, but you want to revert back to a previous revisions of your pipeline. And so the advice for the leaders here is build a platform, not just a playground, right? Don't let every team create their own vector soup here. Standardize common interfaces, enforce lifecycle gates, and democratize observability. Treat your AI stack like your cloud stack, a multi-net tenant, secure, observable, right? And make it more abstracted. So AI that sticks is AI that scales at the end of the day. So if you want to build a trustable, repeatable, and scalable intelligence, build a platform and not just the features, so that you can evolve with the platform as you evolve with more complex features. So in the next episode, let's touch base in terms of how to evolve from pipelines to products, because the evolution of internal ML tools into business-wide AI experiences and how they're considered matters a lot. Having said that, stay tuned for more complex discussions, especially that is going to help you manage your platform, pipelines, products at scale, right? These are the major problems leaders always battle in the giant companies, in the startup companies, as you evolve through the complexity of more organization hierarchy plus the components that you have to manage in the application. So remember to post your questions in the comment section and stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you.